free on PlayStation Plus some months ago too.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have it.
Oh, so you did,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's in my. I grab it. I don't care what it is. You tell me
Man,
it's a free
Joseph,
game
look,
because I'm
when you want to play that game, let me know, bro. I'll play through it with you.
okay. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, because the whole campaign is co-op. So you let me know when you're gonna play it. I'll go in. I'll make my character again because I had it on. I still have it, the collector's edition on Series X. But I'll go to PS5, make me a new character, and then we'll run that thing.
There you go.
All right, let me see.
How do I?
Make sure we locked in and we ready to go.
I had your Twitter up because I knew you were going to go live without telling me. I knew it.
Oh my God, they actually have the episode correct. Oh yeah, this is different. This is different. This is different. Twitter is acting different. Wow.
Oh damn! It's not episode 1 for the 10th time.
Right. This is crazy.
All right.
Let me open up the live chat. Damn, 15 people already. I guess they missed me back over on Twitter since I did Twitch last week. Did you miss me, tweeters? Yes, they missed me. I ain't never seen people coming that quick. All right, let's fix the screen, and then we gonna be ready to lock it in. All right, episode 10, 1-0, the Big 10. Last episode of the year. You know what I'm saying? So grateful to have y'all here with us. It's just me and my guy, Joseph tonight. Put my mouse down.
Crazy. End of 2024. Feels like the year just started in some
I
way.
know, bro. It's over already. That's crazy. Let me see. All right, we good. We good. Shout out to the 16 viewers. We in here, man. You know what I'm saying? So, Joseph had some good ideas for the last stream. I got excited. You know what I'm saying? I had to pull up because I was like, I'll stream if they wanna do it. Because you know we gonna talk to some escorts tonight. You know what I'm saying, on the stream after this. But you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, if they want to stream, we'll do it. And Joseph's like, nah, this is what we need to do. I'm like, all right, bet. See, that's why it's important. That's why it's important to have real friends around you. Because anybody else would have been like, all right, fuck it. Joseph is like, nah, bro, this what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the year. You feel me? Best game of the year, blase game. You gonna forget about whatever. And I'm like, that makes sense. That's a great episode.
Got to put a capstone on the year, man.
Yep.
Can't just let it hang.
So, without further ado, Joseph, you take us there, man. What are we doing first?
All right. I think our favorite game should wait till a little bit later.
Okay.
So I think we should have some fun with it. So what? And I put up my game list so I could help myself because I'm an old man. I'm already forgetting things. I got my PlayStation. I got my trophy data from the year, and I got my Steam year in review up. What is a game? And I'll give you a moment to look, and I'll answer while you're looking. What is a game that you forgot you played this year?
That I forgot I played?
Yeah, I want you to go back, and I'm going to give you an example, okay?
Like,
I brought up my Steam year in review, which I don't know if you've ever done a Steam year in review. It shows you as a
I looked
timeline.
at mine this year, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at my timeline, and I was like, okay, yeah, I remember that. Holy crap, I played Dragon's Dogma 2 this year. I looked at it and was like, I had forgotten that game existed. And I know there are people that love that game, and I'm not trying to send hate to it, but legitimately.
So when you say games that you forget, are you saying games that, like a game that was just so bad, you just forgot
not
it?
Even so bad.
Or just
like,
a game that you played
like,
and you just completely haven't even thought about it since you played it?
Pretty much that. Like, it left so little impact on you that if I didn't ask the question, you wouldn't even think to talk about this game.
Let me check the show. I'm sure I got something over here that I'm like, I forgot I even had this shit.
Dude, I mean, like, I know a lot of people loved it, but Dragon's Dogma 2, like, I had to be reminded that game exists. And I put decent hours into it. I didn't get like 20-something hours into it, and I know some people love not having a fast travel, but I am not one of those people.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later because y'all know how I feel about that game.
I know you do.
I'll say Snow Day. I'll say Snow Day.
Did you play Snow Day? Holy crap!
Yep, start to finish, I beat it.
That's a great answer because I literally, and you are a person that broadcasts what he plays.
Yes.
You are a person, like, if you have fun with something, everybody knows about it. The fact that at no point this year did I hear you mention Snow Day is telling.
I talked about it like when it first came out because it came out around like it came out like on top of like Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, and Dragon's Dogma, and
Oh, so it was it was March. It was March.
yeah, it came out in March, so it came out at a weird time. So I was playing it like just as a break in between big games, but I mean I have fun with it. You could play the whole game in 4-player co-op through the whole campaign. It's a roguelite, which a lot of people didn't even know. So
I didn't know I didn't know that it had a campaign. I thought it was just like a throwaway multiplayer trash.
Nah, it's a full campaign, full story. It's a roguelite, so every time you go into a level, it's completely different. Everything changes, enemies and items and everything. You can set your loadout before you go with different abilities, different weapons, different buffs and debuffs. It's actually pretty fun, but I beat it, put it on the shelf. I haven't even thought about it. It just came out at such a weird time because the beginning of the year was just so quick. It was just like, all right, Dragon's Dogma, Rise of Ronin, Tekken, Suicide Squad, Banishes Ghost of New Eden, this game, that game, Stellar Blade. So I'm just like, it was just so much that I beat it, and I never thought. But now that I think about it, it's actually pretty fun. It's something I definitely would go back to it. But yeah, it just came out at a bad time.
That's gonna be one of those that if I can nab it for free or something,
exactly,
I'll be like, hey Spider, guess what we're gonna do?
Yeah, if they put it on PS Plus or Game Pass, I'll definitely get back into it to play it with friends. But
that game, like, I never got to play the South Park N64 game, which I know that game is like critically hated.
Yeah, I never played
But there
was
a part of me when I was a kid that I'm still today that I'm like, I never got to play it, and I really want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of those games from your childhood you just never managed to try, but, like, you read all about it. Like, I don't know about you. Like, when I was a kid, we still had magazines.
He said the presentation didn't grab me. Yeah, that's the thing. It came out at a weird time, and then a lot of people didn't even know what the fuck the game was. Like, a lot of people, like, still to this day, I could put on, if I go on Twitter and say, man, this was one of the most fun roguelites I played this year, most people be like, that was a roguelite? Like, what the fuck? Even when I beat it, people was like, damn. When I was posting clips about it, people was like, damn, I didn't know it was a roguelite. I didn't know it had 4-play. I didn't know it had... They just dropped the game and just gave up on it. They didn't even tell anybody what the game was. It was just like a tax write-off, basically.
It was a weird follow-up, given kind of like RMR mentioned in the chat. Like, they had 2 amazing RPGs, like full-on story, well-written. And so, like, this being the next one was a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, no hate, but it's just like, who decided this was the next one?
Yeah, I have no clue. And it was priced good. It was $30 on launch, so.
Oh, you see, I didn't even know that. Like, that did not catch my attention.
So you said Dragon's Dogma was yours?
Yeah, I legitimately, like, when I looked through my Steam year in review and I looked through my PlayStation trophy data for the year, I legitimately had forgotten that I played through that game. Again, I didn't beat it. I fell off of it because it felt like a chore after a while for me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said about that game. It started to feel like a real job.
Well, and the enemy diversity wasn't good enough to where, like, okay, I have to go do a quest out in the wilderness, and I get attacked by the same ogre 3 times, it feels like.
Swear to goodness, when I said that on Twitter, they tried to nail me to the cross, bro.
Dude, and I know there's probably more to it, but and there were some interesting concepts that Dragon Dogma has always had, like the pawn or whatever system, like the followers you have.
That was probably the best thing about the game.
Yeah, and like the large enemies that you can climb on, like it's just, I don't know, the execution. I don't know, there were aspects of it. Like, if it was in a slightly differently designed game, I think I would have taken to it more enemies, more enemy types, I should say. Like, I don't mind giant battles. Like I played through Final Fantasy 16 for the first time this year, and that was a lot of big battles. But I don't know, it felt.
It's not slander. Listen, we ain't saying nothing that ain't true, bro. I just felt like it. Once you get over the novelty, I said this on Twitter. I said the first time you fight a big ass Cyclops and you climb his back, and it's so amazing. It's like, damn, magical, this shit is amazing. When you do the shit 10 more times, then it's just like, all right, bro. Like, Get me over with. Get this shit over with. That's how I started to feel. I was like, all right, bro, get this shit over with, bro. Especially when the pawns start acting stupid, bro. I had one mission when we was going across a bridge, one of the fucking pawns, and this was right before we had to fight a dragon boss. Like, it was a big ass dragon boss on the main quest. Had like, I swear he had like 5 bars of health. It had to be like 5. And the fucking pawn just walks off the bridge. Now it was no more like pawn, because you got to be at a certain spot to get a pawn. I can't remember if it was like, I think it was like the campfire thing that you got to go to get the pawns. But that's
There
how
was
long.
like a temple in the city.
Yeah, I know you can go to one in the city, and then it was like along the way when you explore, it'll be certain points where you can just like a little stone that you see you can go to and get the pawns.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dude just walked off the fucking cliff, and I was nowhere near any of that. It was literally like I traveled for, I want to say, I traveled for at least like 15 minutes from the nearest town to get to this boss. So if I would have went back, it would have been 15 minutes back and then 15 minutes back to the boss. But I was right there, like in front of the boss, about to activate it. So it was like, do I just go in here and fight this fucking boss and try to beat it, or do I just spend the next 30 minutes walking back and forth to get another pawn? So I just wound up just going to fight the boss. And the AI is so trash. I literally just stood under like this little roof where the dragon fire could not hit me, and I just spammed because I was a mage. I just spammed and beat him. But that game was just turned into such a chore, man.
Oh, I can tell you 100% part of the reason I struggled at the beginning was I made a freaking archer. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be an archer. You know what the worst freaking starting class was at launch?
Archer.
Freaking archer, dude.
Damn.
Oh, and everyone's like, oh, but if you become a magic archer, then you'll be okay. I was like, you know how long into the game you got to play to become a magic archer? And fun fact, you don't actually have to be an archer to be a magic archer then. Like, I did it wrong.
No, it wasn't no summon stone at this boss, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I got footage of it too. It was absolutely no summon stone. And the thing about it was the boss in the main story that you need to beat. You don't necessarily need to beat him, but you unlock that class. I forget what it's called, but you unlock that magic archer class on the way to the boss. You go into this castle, and the dragon is behind the castle. It's a main story quest. It's not a side quest. And you unlock the magic archer class inside of this castle before you get to the dragon. So by the time I even got to him, it was like, I mean, I can't change right now because you got to be at like a camp spot to change.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It was
if
crazy,
you find
bro.
something in the wilderness and you want to go back, you really, kind of like you said, you have to weigh it. Like, man, do I want to spend half an hour walking back to the city?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Or do I just want to go finish what I'm doing?
He said Thief was the best starting class. Maybe I had
Mage.
I was gonna say I think maybe Mage, because I had a breeze. Like, I literally would just stand back, throw the fire out, and then make a big ass whirlwind, and it literally would just melt everything. Like, I literally didn't barely die in that game with the Mage. So maybe Thief might have been, but I tend to do Magic because I know everybody gonna do, you know, the quick double sword class or just the standard warrior class. So. But it was good. I got to the end of the game very easily, and I took that shit right back to GameStop. They had a sale for, you get a plus 40% trade-in credit, so I got $45 for it, and I was happy. Never to be spoken of again.
No wonder you love GameStop, man. You go when the deals are right.
You got to go when the deals is right.
I used to work for GameStop, so I don't begrudge them the trade-in values like a lot of people do. Like, they're not going to give you $20 for a game they're not going to be able to sell except for 10.
Right.
So,
exactly.
All right. What is a game that you played this year that maybe not the most underrated, but what's a game you feel like got too slept on? Didn't get enough credit. And I'd say try a name for smaller titles if possible.
Well, you know, I'm the king of the indies. I got a couple.
You are the king of the indies. I figured this is actually a tough question for you.
All right, so
it can't be Squirrel with a Gun.
It's not gonna be Squirrel. Squirrel with a Gun is an indie, but I think enough people have known about that game. It's a roadmap for that game. That game is pretty successful.
35% of people who ever heard of that game heard of it because of you.
Let me see. I got two of my favorite games this year. Well, I don't think. Well, do I got to be games from this year?
No, it could be. Yeah, we'll go with anything. What is a game you played this year? It could be from prior years. But you just feel like it got slept on.
I would be all day. Too many indies. All right, so I'm gonna pick 3. One came out this year. Gundam Breaker 4, man.
Okay.
This
I know
game,
wasn't Sonny playing that too?
Yeah, he beat it. I actually didn't beat it. I got to get back on it. But this game is so fun. This game is fire. The customization is crazy. Um, it's just fun, and then you could do the whole game in a 3-player co-op. Every time I get on this game, like I'm not a Gundam fan. I really don't even know too much about Gundam, but I played the beta and I was like, all right, I got to fuck with it. Anytime I get on this game and I turn the co-op on, I'm talking about I just see Chinese letters, bro, just joining my team, bro. So I'm assuming that Gundam is like the biggest shit in China and Japan.
Dude, they make Japan. I think it's Japan.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
For a while,
yeah.
they had a full-size Gundam suit statue in one city.
Really?
Like legit, like 3 stories tall Gundam suit statue.
Yeah, they do not play. Japan don't fucking play about this game, man. If you get on this game and you turn that co-op on, I promise you, you will probably be the only person on there from America. It's nothing but Japanese people playing this game. And
but
it's
that means
fun.
You're gonna get someone who knows what they're doing.
Yup, they be out there farming. They be doing all the high level missions. They be carrying. So yeah, Gundam definitely. And then I'll say 2 games they didn't come out this year, but they're 2 of my favorite games. Of course, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, but it has combat, and it's actually pretty fun. It's really fun. Something I definitely want to play again. The soundtrack is amazing. It just feels great to play. And of course, one of my favorite JRPGs. A lot of people didn't play it. It's made by one person, Eater Knights.
Eater Knights, okay.
Eater Knights is made by one person. It's a romance action JRPG. So you got 4 girls, and you spend the whole game. Maybe it was 3. I think you got 3 girls, and you spend the whole game like talking to each of them, romancing them, figuring out which one you want to take on a date. You know which one you want to mess with. But it's basically a dungeon crawler action JRPG. The combat is great. It's got good parry. The storyline is phenomenal. It's emotional. It's really great. People definitely should give Eater Knights a chance. And again, I say it's made by one person, so the game is spectacular to be made by one person. It's so good.
I was caught off guard when you started by describing it as a romance game. Like that was not expected. That was not a genre I was expecting to come up tonight.
I know it's the only one I've ever played besides Boyfriend Dungeon, which was pretty good. I played that on Game Pass a couple years ago. It was pretty good, but Eater Knights were underrated, but there was no marketing for it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's made by one person. A lot of people probably did not hear about it. You know, virtually no budget.
I've ever hearing about it. Yeah.
See, one person doing it all on their own, virtually no budget. Is great. So anybody get the chance to check it out. I brought it twice. I got the digital and physical to support my guy. You know, shout out to Studio Side. He always communicates with the people. You know what I'm saying? Great game. So how about you, Joseph?
Okay, so this has actually become one of my favorite games ever. And I have played it. It didn't come out this year, and I have played it. So when Steam gives you the breakdown, it tells you what percentage of your time you played these games, right?
Yeah.
A full 23% of my time on Steam this year was spent playing Power Wash Simulator.
Oh. I can believe that though, because I think JD was telling me how relaxing and how he was telling me how addictive the game could be.
It really is, because it kind of has the same. I'm gonna compare it to 2 brain feelings. Okay, so like imagine like how your brain feels with a coloring book, and also you know how like when scissors glide on wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Like that's the effect it has on me. And it has a ton of DLC too. Like it has some free DLC for different things.
I seen they got Shrek Swamp on there, SpongeBob.
It's got Shrek, SpongeBob, Warhammer 40K, Final Fantasy. Like they're like legitimately crazy DLC, and that's part of why I spent so much time was I had played it before, and then this year I replayed all of it on my Steam Deck after I got my Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. All the base game, all the DLC, and then more and they put out free seasonal DLC a lot of the time. Damn. Like during the summer they put out like a cruise ship deck for you to clean, and then in the winter they put out a winter level. So that's going to be one of my all-time, like, just not enough people play this game. And then V Rising. I am not normally a survival game person, right? Like it's just not normally my thing. Mm-hmm. But V Rising is it's a survival vampire game that you can play co-op. Like my buddies and I had a server. So you build like a base as a vampire, and your guy grows, but you also have to like collect materials, build your base. and you have to hunt down targets to gain new abilities and
Mm.
progress in this game. And that it wound up being like a top 5 game for me on Steam this year. And I was just now a lot of that was because it was multiplayer. I do better with multiplayer. But like Pal World didn't grab me, and that was survival Pokemon type stuff, and I could play with other people. But that, I don't know, that didn't grab me. But V Rising for some reason, like that became a time sink for me for a couple of months. So
Survival games, man. I just think I haven't. I want to get into it. I just haven't found one.
well,
To
this one also
me,
plays like Diablo, like it's an isometric
Mhm.
action RPG on top of the survival mechanic. So that, I think that helps me.
every survival game I've ever tried just felt wonky as hell to play. So maybe I have to try V Rising. Cause I put
If you get
Power
a
World
shot,
on.
yeah.
I put Power World on PC for like I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I put it on for like 30 seconds. I just moved around. I moved around the map for a little bit, like just walked around, and then I was aiming down sights, and then I turned it off, and I never played it again. Like it just didn't feel good to even. So I was like, I'm not gonna proceed with this shit. But I mean, we'll see. I gotta find a survival game. I feel like once I find a good survival game, I'm gonna be addicted to it because those games you
That's
really get
tough.
locked into.
Because there's so many different types. Like there's Don't Starve, which I tried to play once. A buddy of mine was super into that game, but I just couldn't get into it. There's what is that one that the sequel's coming with Vin Diesel? Oh, that's gonna bother me. But they, like there's so many franchises that do survival stuff, but every time I try one, I'm just like, nah.
Like Speed
I
Freak
just
was
don't
trying
feel
to
like
get me to play. Him and JD was playing like 7 Days to Die, and I want to play it. Like I want to get on there with them because they always tell you gotta buy this game, you gotta buy this game, you gotta buy this game. But the thing about it is the amount of investment that a survival game requires. Because on 7 Days to Die, you gotta take care of your base, or the zombies will come fucking knock it down. And so
right.
I look
Okay,
at it and I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
am
yeah.
I really gonna play this game every day when I'm playing so many other games? It's like I know I'm not gonna play it that much, so that's why I was like, I haven't got it yet. But
Yeah, RMR is laughing at you in the Twitter chat because of how you're talking about this game. Oh, guess who got Speed into 7 Days to Die? That's why he's laughing. Okay, that makes sense.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was Arm, yeah. And Speed got like 1,000 hours on that shit, bro. Like Speed
Oh
don't fuck
man,
around. He don't fuck around. He got everything. We was in the group chat on PlayStation one day. I was just looking at his screen. And JD was there. We were just looking at Speed's screen. This motherfucker got every car. He got every camera at his damn base. He got every high level weapon, melee, guns. He got motorcycle. I said, yo, the amount of time that you gotta put in this shit to get all that stuff, I ain't gonna never get it. It looks great though. To be fair, the game looks amazing. It just requires survival games require a lot of investment that I just don't have the time.
that's fair. I do prefer more pick up and play type stuff. Like
Mm.
Marvel Rivals. That's part of the reason I really like Marvel Rivals is I don't feel like I fall behind if I don't.
But see, but
constantly play it.
I started feeling like you on Marvel Rivals where like now if I don't have a squad, like if I'm not playing with at least if I'm not playing with at least 3 of my friends, I'm not even going to bother fucking with the game. I'm just not even going to get on it.
That's honestly, so outside of our group, I have a couple of my buddies from college who have been playing it. One is out of town right now, otherwise we would have played more. But it's a lot of fun when you have people. Games like that, if you're flying solo, that's a hard pass for me, especially like as a healer. Like I don't know how I'd probably should try it just to see, but man, flying as a healer and trying to follow all these pugs.
If you playing Marvel Rivals by yourself, you almost have to play healer. Like you have to play. It's
because nobody else will.
It's nothing else to play. Like I pick any other character that I'm good with. I pick Spider-Man. It's like it's nothing, bro. We just going out there, we getting smoked. I pick Pen A. We going out there, we getting smoked.
Everybody runs DPS and
Yeah,
then gets
bro.
mad. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I started
yeah,
playing with Luna Snow because I got tired of picking my characters and losing. So I'm like, man, fuck it, let me try Luna. And then I actually like Luna now. I play with her a lot. But it was like, if you're not playing Halo on that game, you might as well not even play with no randoms. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, so I just won't play.
basically.
Yeah, unless my group is on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this question I know my answer, and that's kind of what's sparking the question. Is there a game that came out before 2024 that you finally got around to? What is the best game from before this year that you finally got around to playing?
From before this year that I finally got on,
Yeah, you mentioned a couple with your indie thing, but like, what is if there was like a best game you played this year that wasn't released this year? What would you try to say it was?
I play a lot of games like multiple times, so I'm trying to think. Is there something?
Try it for like a first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look at.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
that
yeah.
I played for the first time that's released before this year. And I
While
and I
you're looking,
and I
I'll answer mine.
yeah, go
Buy
ahead.
you a little time. So I finally this year, you know how I'm a From Software person now. I was not 2 years ago. I got into From Software games, and I played through all of them except two
Mm-hmm.
that year. And one of those was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and I finally played it this year and got.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're rolling your eyes at me already. I
No,
love it.
I don't got no hate. I don't got no hate against Sekiro.
No, I like it is. It's one of those trophies that I joke about because I got the platinum. So it's one of those jokes. It's one of those that I joke about. It's like if I get a chance to brag about the fact that I got the Sekiro platinum, I'm gonna brag about the fact that I got the Sekiro platinum because that's probably gonna forever be the hardest game that I got the platinum trophy for.
Okay, all right. So I got two. I'm looking at my trophies now. All
Okay,
right,
okay.
so the first one is Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 1.
Ooh, that
I,
is an excellent answer.
I always wanted to play that game because I grew up on Soul Reaver. My daddy was a big Soul Reaver guy. He got me into Soul Reaver on the PS1 and the
Man, Blood
PS2.
Omen, that was a top-down RPG from the PlayStation, right?
Yep, top down ARPG.
Ooh,
And so I always wanted to go back to play it just for the lore and because it looked cool. Young Kane looks I always liked Young Kane. Old Kane, fuck him. But Young Kane, before he became a fucking evil villain, I liked it. So I went back and played Blood Omen now today on PlayStation, and it was good. After about 7 hours, I had to stop playing it. I dropped it because it just got to. I don't even know the right way to say it. I just feel like
it probably hasn't aged great. Like that was from an era. It's weird. I feel like Super Nintendo games have aged better than early PlayStation games.
PlayStation 1 games have aged the worst of any system of all time.
Well, and it's
I can agree.
because we just jumped to 3D,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of it was now obviously Blood Omen 1 has less of that, but it was an era where the graphics looked the worst
Yeah.
because it was early era 3D processing stuff. The sprite games from PS1 still look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like in that weird era where the sprites were muddier because we didn't have HD yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it wasn't quite powerful enough to generate as much as as we would come to love.
Yeah.
So yeah, PS1 games have aged that and Saturn. Like that's just the era, the early 3D stuff.
I want to play Sega Saturn so bad.
I mean, there's some legit forgotten gems on that.
Never played it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I can see. But I mean, 7 hours in a Blood Omen, that's still like you gave it a legit chance.
Yeah, I played it because I love Legacy of Kain, so I was like, I'm gonna play it as if I can beat it, I want to beat it, but I'm gonna play it as much as I can. To me, I dropped it because it was just too much. It was too much backtracking.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so vague. Like they don't tell you shit. Like they don't tell you where you're supposed to go. You're supposed to just know. Like you're supposed to just know.
That was kind of a stalwart of the era as well.
Like because on Soul Reaver, 1 and 2, which are two of my favorite games. More so 1 because 2 is a little bit more linear than 1. But Soul Reaver 1, you do a lot of backtracking and you got to go to a lot of different worlds. Between the spectral realm and the physical realm, and it's vague on there too. They really don't tell you where the fuck you going. You got to figure it out.
Nope.
But the Elder God will at least say, okay, Raziel, you've conquered this land. Now you got to go kill your brother Melchiah. So now you're thinking, okay, now I gotta find Melchiah. So then you start thinking about the lore. Okay, where did Melchiah move to after Cain abandoned all of us? So then you think, oh, he's over here. So then you go kill Melchiah. Blood Omen 1, they don't tell you a motherfucking thing. You just supposed to know it. Because Cain is talking to himself the whole game. It's not like on Soul Reaper where Elder God is constantly telling you, all right, we're going to do this, Raziel. We're going to kill Melchiah. Then you're going to do this. You're going to gain this power. Blood Omen was just way too vague and it had too much backtracking. And the second one I'll say was... What was the second one? Damn. Hold on, let me bring my trophy
You had
back
your
up.
trophy data up.
Hold up. Let me look. So yeah, I said... Oh, Alan Wake 2.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Wake 2. Not much to say about that game. I always wanted to play it because the graphics are amazing. And the first Alan Wake, while I thought the gameplay wasn't that good, It had a good. I would say it had a good ratio. Like it wasn't like a game where you just constantly watching cutscenes the whole game or shit. Like it had you was constantly doing stuff, you know, and it felt like I was constantly engaged with Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake 2. I just couldn't, because I felt like with that mechanic where you have to constantly go to that fucking investigation board and constantly keep moving the pictures around to line up the investigation and keep reading this and reading that. It was just, I just felt like I was wasting so much time just doing nothing but reading and looking at the fucking board. So I gave it a chance. I played about, I think I topped out at 6 hours, maybe 8. I'm gonna look real quick so I have the accurate number so nobody can say, "Oh, well, on Twitter you said you only played it for 5 hours." I don't fucking know.
Somebody will 100% do
They
that
will.
to you too.
They will. Especially because Alan Wake. They tried to kill me when I talked about Alan Wake. Let me see.
Let's see. I'm trying to see because I played that. I played that for the first time this year too.
Alan Wake. 5 hours. So I played 5 hours of it. And they was like, well, you have to get past Saga's part, and then you got to start using Alan Wake. And once you get to Alan Wake, it really opens up, and it's more gameplay. No, man, that shit was still dry. So look, again, I took it back to GameStop, got $35 for it. I'm not mad. It is what it is. I tried it. I wanted to try it. It's fine. It's fine. But the game was not for me, and I understand why it has not made a profit.
Oh, come on. I had to get that final dig in as you mentioned what you're saying. It's
for
fine.
real,
It's good.
man.
I'm glad everybody liked it. It sucked. And yeah, we're done. We're done.
Listen, it don't suck. It's just not for me, man. That's the thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's super funny, though. I got to replay that soon because I picked up the physical edition on PS5 to replay it because I played it on PC first.
Uh-huh.
I played it on the Epic Store first. It is, to date, the only game I have beaten on the Epic Store.
They published it.
Yeah. So I gotta get back into it. There's a bunch of games I want to replay.
I know.
All right, cool. What? Okay, so we're gonna go a little more negative now. What? And I feel like I can't. You can't answer Dragon's Dogma because I feel like that would just be
okay. We'll eliminate Dragon's Dogma from it.
Okay, what do you think is the most overrated game to come out in 2024?
Well, let's head back to the trophy data. Because if it's the most overrated game, I'm sure I still don't have it in my collection. Probably got rid of it. But it's got to be something overrated, which means it had to be hyped up at some point. Oh, I played Bloodborne this year, too, for the second time.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was... I was like, a part of me was like, that can't be your answer. And
yeah.
then I was like, wait, no,
I forgot I played it. I got to get back
2024.
Yeah, I got to get back on Bloodborne. I had a good time with that. I got to get back.
Oh, man, I finally got the platinum for Bloodborne this year.
Oh,
I had beaten it before, but now I got the platinum, which... I will fully admit on stream and everywhere that I use edited There's edited chalices you can find so you can skip most of the chalice dungeons. Because I want to it has like an almost roguelike element to it with the chalice dungeons where you go in and it generates new dungeons for you to go through. And you have to progress to get more materials to make deeper dungeons to get to certain bosses. Because there's one boss in particular at the end of the chalice dungeons you need for the trophy.
So you said most overrated game?
Most overrated game that released in 2024. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. 100%. 100%. 100%.
Spicy, and I love it.
100%, man.
I'm only like 3 hours into that game. I need to go back and try it a little longer.
See, 100%. What I'll say is the game is good for a first playthrough if you just focus on the main story. I think with this game, they tried so hard to fall into a bunch of open world tropes to pad the fucking game. I think they should have stayed more like Remake, where you going through this game and it's taking you from place to place. You on the main path. You doing what needs to be done. This game, once they stuck that annoying little cunt Chadley in the game, and they got you doing all this dumb, repetitive open world shit, and it's so boring, man. And then the most egregious part about this game is the unskippable walking and talking. How many times do I have to go back in time with Zach and hold forward for 30 minutes while he's talking to somebody? Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Rebirth wasted a lot of my time, and that's why. And when I went back 2 weeks ago. I said, all right, PS5 Pro is enhanced. Let me go back try to play it. Let me do my new game plus because I did beat the game. I couldn't do it. I took that shit right back. I took it. I took it to GameStop. I took it to GameStop.
Oh, so and before anyone comes for this answer,
He
I
said
gotta say,
Hellblade
like,
too. Yeah, that's probably one C, but I didn't play that because I know what type of game that was. I didn't
well, and
expect Rebirth to be like that.
Hellblade had hype from a specific area of the
Yeah,
internet.
I agree with
Rebirth was a Game of the Year nominee, so
ridiculous.
I think, and this is where I think I've actually crafted a theory of overratedness over the years, just because being an NBA fan, you know, we love talking about players and like who's overrated, who's underrated. And I feel like if you are hyping a guy to MVP levels who's not MVP levels, that's more overrated than taking a guy who's like an all-star and saying that he's like an all-NBA player.
Embiid. There's no reason he won that fucking MVP over Jokic.
He's the first MVP who managed to successfully whine to get one. Yes. But so Rebirth real quick. Like people love to be like, well, you don't have to play the side stuff. They literally tie party progression to doing open world activities. So that is literally part of progression in the game. So don't like if all it was experience and gil, that'd be one thing. But it's not. It's like literally like party connection stuff. I've already forgotten the exact term, but. Anyway, so
fuck the side quest. And fuck the side quest because y'all know if I'm playing a game and they got me doing redundant side quests, I'll just stop and play the main game and not even worry about the side quest, which is what I did with Rebirth. Eventually, I just stopped doing it and said, let me play the story. But the story, man, like I said, it's so much walking and talking and dumb shit. Once I got to a mission, it was a whole chapter. A whole chapter where I'm throwing boxes in a warehouse with Kate Sith.
Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible.
A whole chapter where I'm throwing fucking boxes to activate buttons as Kate Sith.
They did something not quite that bad, but in the first one was padded. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake, so in the original, there is this moment where you find out that they're going to drop the plates, and you find out from Don Corneo, and he drops you into a sewer, right? And you're rushing back to the bar to save people. And that part of the game has like a weird pacing thing, but in Remake, it's 2 full chapters. After that, you spend 2 chapters in the damn train graveyard, one of which literally ends with a ghost boss fight. Like they added a new boss to pad this freaking game. Anyway, I have issues. With the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. Anyway, so my answer to get us off of Rebirth for a moment.
Yeah.
And this is, and it's interesting because this game is like a no-win. Okay, like there are going to be people who make assumptions about me because I'm saying this game, and I don't think it's fair either way. Like it's overhated and overloved at the same time. But I'm going with Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Oh. Because
now I understand. Like there are mechanics that were fun. I found the combat very floaty. Like I didn't. Like it just got it
That's
was
fair.
it was as repetitive in terms of combat to me as Final Fantasy 16. The difference is Final Fantasy 16 had good characters and good story and good voice acting. I wouldn't say Veilguard was bad with voice acting, but it was like a Fisher Price my first dark fantasy game. Like did you ever see the movie Return to Oz? Do you remember that movie? It was like in the 80s. There, like that game, growing up, that movie scared me because there was a part where the evil queen takes her head off, it's a hat, right? That movie is darker than the Veilguard, and the Veilguard is part of probably the most famous dark fantasy series in gaming. And it just so it's interesting because I do think it's overrated. Like Time Magazine just called it their number 1 game of the year. They put out a top 10 list that was garbage.
I don't want to say it, but we have to understand that that's agenda based. There's no other reason for that to be number 1.
And that's the thing. It's funny. So there are definitely people who hate that game just to hate it who have never played it, and that's unfair. But we never talk about the reverse, right? Like there are people who will play a game with the intention of hating it. I think Veilguard kind of had an element of, I'm going to play this game and love it because the wrong people hate it.
That's fair, too.
And so, so for me, the most overrated, just because, it didn't get the award accolades like Rebirth did, but it is like a 6.5, 7 out of game that so many people I know love it and call it like a 9 out of 10, and I'm like...
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What?
And I loved it,
So
but a 9 out of 10, nah, I would be hard pressed to give
you
it that.
you skip everything story related you can in
Yeah,
every
I
game
can't
ever.
listen. I can't tell you how bad or good the voice acting is in that game. I don't know. I don't know, man. Once I got the Tosh, I listened to most of it. Once I got the Tosh, I started skipping everything. I'm not gonna lie to
Oh my gosh, Tosh! I would argue that Tosh, and this is part of why I think the game's overrated.
you.
Tosh is literally the worst companion in an RPG I have ever seen,
I agree. I agree.
and I have played so many RPGs.
I agree.
I would take the freaking. There was like an onion sidekick in one game. I think it was Breath of Fire had an onion. I'm so blanking on who it is. But there have been so many terrible like the Hope. I think his name was Hope in Final Fantasy 13. Is one of the most hated Final Fantasy companions of all time. I like Hope better than I like Tosh. Anyway,
Yeah, Tosh
okay.
is next topic.
Okay. Looking forward to 2025. What is the two games you're looking forward to the most?
All right, so I'm gonna assume that the games are releasing in 2025. So
That's fair, and that's all we can do. That's
yeah.
fair.
So
That's fair.
of course, my number one is Pirate Yakuza. You know, of course.
Oh, yep.
Majima, come on, man. Majima is a pirate. We finally got air combat in Yakuza for the first time in all of the
I was
games.
gonna say,
Like,
now this one's not turn-based, right? Like
No.
this is going back to the action-based.
yeah. So
Okay.
that game just looks incredible, and Majima is a fucking nut. So I'm excited to see what the hell he's doing still in Hawaii.
I love
being a
how over the
pirate.
top they've let those games get.
Yeah.
Like Yakuza was always kind of over the top, but I feel like they've really cranked it up since.
Yeah, because I would say through the first 5 games, 0 to 5, like you had over the top side characters, but you know, Uncle Kaz was always super serious. He was never really a goof. But they cranked it up so much where everybody's a fucking goofball now. And then 2, I would say Captain America and Black Panther. For me.
I so want that to be good. Like
I know.
That game has me nervous.
I trust Amy Hennig, man. I trust Amy Hennig.
That's fair. You know what? That is fair because she's probably. It's weird. She's like one of the most slept on game creators now.
Yes.
Just because she left Naughty Dog, but she was responsible for a lot of why Naughty Dog was successful.
Listen, that Uncharted series 1 through 3. I don't know if she was on 4, but I know for sure 1 through 3, which were the best ones. Well, let's skip 1.
She was part of The Last of Us 1. I think she left during that production.
Amy Hennig, her track record, man. I just know that it's going to be fire. The graphics look great. I know they're going to nail the combat. I don't expect it to be deep. Like when I look at that game and I look at what Amy Hennig has done, I don't expect for it to be a combat system where we got to learn all these buttons. And I expect it to be simple. You know, square attack, triangle counter, L2 to throw the shield, or throw darts with T'Challa's grandfather, and that's it. I don't expect it to be deep, but the story, the graphics, and the settings, even the pictures that she released of just Wakanda, the game graphically looks like it's going to be next level. So I can't wait to see that, and I'm praying that it comes out, because if it doesn't, then there's no superhero games dropping next year. So. Because we don't know anything about Iron Man yet. We don't know anything about the EA's Black Panther game yet. We damn sure don't know about Wonder Woman.
Black hole.
Wolverine is 2026, so it's just like.
No, you're right. You're right. I will say if they make it so Cap and Black Panther play differently, that would be a win. And I think you're right. Actually, it's crazy. Like this could be. Not counting comics, obviously, this could be the best Black Panther non-comic story that we've gotten. Because the Black Panther movie was good, but its story wasn't like amazing.
I agree.
Right. And I would actually argue this is one of my pet peeves with the MCU. Black Panther in Civil War was better than Black Panther in Black Panther.
I seen somebody talking about that earlier on Twitter.
And I held that opinion, and I think I saw the same tweet you did. But I've had that opinion simply because. He actually probably had the strongest emotional journey in Civil War. Like I love Civil War is one of my top MCU films, and I love the journey. Like they all had great journeys, but he arguably had the best one. Like he stole that movie, in my opinion. Especially at the end when he's like, "Anger is destroying them. I will not let it destroy me." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Anyway, but this could be, gosh, fingers crossed. I keep forgetting about that game because they've shown us so little.
I know.
But no, those are two fantastic, and I love how opposite those choices are. You're gonna have T'Challa's grandfather all stoic,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, I want to play something different. Then you're gonna turn on Majima Empire.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to Shadows too, but not more than those two.
Looking forward to which one?
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh yeah.
The gameplay that they've been showing looks phenomenal.
I'm just in straight wait and see mode with that one. I'm hoping it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, and I think all gamers should hope for a game to be good.
Right.
Like, just real quick, that attitude. I hate people like rooting for things to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that in general. I like, and that's whatever project. I know, like the new Naughty Dog game is not interesting to me at all yet. I need to see more, but I hope it's amazing.
I think.
Yeah. I hope it's amazing. Just nothing about it has grabbed me yet. But again, we've been shown so little. Like whatever. But so for me, the two biggest ones for me are both RPGs. Because they both look amazing. First off, Avowed in February. I've been waiting for Avowed for a while.
Yeah.
And the previews make it look good. Part of it is I'm still hoping that Obsidian is has a weird rep, almost all built on Fallout New Vegas, which is unfair. Like they made Pillars of Eternity, and I'm not a huge CRPG guy most of the time. But apparently those are amazing for people who love CRPGs. But like most people now, like they think of New Vegas, and then Outer Worlds was fine. I'm hoping Outer Worlds 2 just goes kookier, right? But Avowed looks good, so I'm really hoping Avowed turns out great. And then I always forget the first part of it, but Expedition 33 is
it's called Claire Excursion or some shit like that.
Yeah, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33. That is a gorgeous looking JRPG with just a stupid good voice cast. It has freaking Daredevil voicing one of the characters.
I'm excited for that game, and I don't really get into turn-based games like that, but to me it looks more like Infinite Wealth, where even though it's turn-based, you still got to parry, you still got to time your attack. So that to
you're
me is
still engaged with the combat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm looking.
You don't just hit the button and watch your person go and swing,
exactly.
Which I'm okay with. I like that. I'm okay with that play style. But I do think it's interesting to see how JRPGs are evolving with that type of stuff. So I'm so hyped for that game. We don't even have a release date. I think it's just supposed to be out in. It's supposed to be, and it's only coming out for like $50. It's not even coming out $70.
Yeah, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Does it have a date on it? Nope. Coming soon. Let me wish list.
I have it pre-ordered on Amazon right now, and it says like December 31st, 2025 or something. Yeah.
I think it's going to come out in spring. I'm thinking like April or May.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Look amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, it's. And I like how weird the art looks. Like when you really look at like the world they built is just so kind of off-putting in some way. It's gorgeous but off-putting, and I like that combination. Like it's not some generic Western dark forest German-looking setting. It's like none of it makes sense. It's all odd. It's all weird, and I'm digging it. And
then the fact they said it's gonna be between 15 and 30 hours. Like, come on, bro, you can't beat that.
I want to be careful with this. I love games that I can put over 100 hours into. Don't get me wrong. I have put so many hours, like Elden Ring. Like I will put hours in. I don't need every game to be like a second job for 6 weeks.
Yep.
I am okay with a tight, well-designed gaming experience. And if anything, it makes it more replayable. Like that's like replaying certain games. Like I haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey since I platinumed it. But every time I think about replaying it, I'm like, do I really want to put 60 to 80 hours into this? Not right now.
Yeah. See, I like games that are 100 hours, but basically they give you the option. Like, I can play through the whole game and beat it in 30. But you're giving me a reason to play the game for 100 hours. There's content there that's worth.
Or if it's just fun enough, like you and Miles Morales, man. Like Miles Morales doesn't have 100 hours of content, but it's so good, it's so fun to play that you're like, I do want to play it again right now. And it's short enough that you're not making like a 6-month commitment to do it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I finally beat Red Dead Redemption 2 this year because I told myself, I was like, I'm going to get through this. I've never actually seen the end. And it was as good as promised. Like the story, the characters, everything was as good as promised. Amazing ending. Holy shit! The idea of replaying it though.
How
Like,
many like how long did it take?
oh, it's hard to be sure because this is my third attempt, and the prior two attempts I'd fallen off around the 30-hour mark both times. I want to say it was about 50 to 60 hours total to beat it, and I was not a completionist. I didn't go for the platinum. I ignored hunting and gathering. Like, there's so much in that game. And the idea, like, I will replay it again one day because the story's that good, but it's going to be a long time.
I
I'll be
know,
playing
bro.
the newly remastered PS7 version or something.
See, that's how I feel about Visions of Mana. The game was amazing. It was so good. I can't wait to play it again. Um, but it's like right now, I don't have 50 hours to devote to playing that shit again.
I actually have Visions of Mana, and I fell off. Like, I just kind of
Oh
stopped playing it.
damn!
I need to go back and finish it. But like, I can see why you love it. It just didn't grab me in the same way. Same thing happened with me in Ran Blue Fantasy Relink that came out in like January. I take it you love that one too.
That's one of my favorite games of the year.
I don't know, just something about it just didn't like that's the thing. Like, I'm so feeling based when it comes to video games, right? Like, if I'm feeling it, I'm obsessed. Metaphor Refantasio, literally, I was like one of the first, I want to say, like, first 5% to finish that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and especially on like my social media platforms, like, nobody I was a mutual with that I'm aware of beat it before I did.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not feeling a game, like, and this happened to me with Veilguard after like 25 hours, 22 hours, something like that. Every time I would think about playing it, I'm like, I'm not really feeling sitting down for this.
Yeah, see, I don't blame you, bro. It's just that's why I like a good balance, bro. And if the game gonna be 150 hours or some shit, like put it out when ain't nothing else out, bro. Because there's always too much shit. Like, I'm praying that Assassin's Creed Shadows is like 20 to 30 hours. Knowing them, I know it's gonna be a 70-hour main story, all that dumb shit, and I'm gonna drop the game, and then I'm gonna come back to it in November when there's nothing out, because it's no way I'm devoting that kind of time when it comes out a week away from Pirate Yakuza. So
My hope for Assassin's Creed is that they learn from Valhalla, because Valhalla was padded to hell. Like, just getting through the main story was a trudge. And don't get me wrong, like, it had good core mechanics, it had interesting characters, but after, like, it's about taking territory in England. But after, like, the 7th time, you're just like, why do I like, it's a new, oh, you go to an area, you meet a leader, you have to conquer that area. Oh, you go to an area, you meet a leader, you have to conquer that area. And after, like, the 7th time, I'm like, why is this not over yet?
exactly.
So, Shadows needs to be good. Ubisoft really needs Shadows to be good. Anyway, what would you say is the worst game you played this year? Minimum, we're gonna put a minimum time on it. Minimum, what do you think is fair? 5 or 10 hours? Like, it can't be something you played for 30 seconds and dropped.
Nah, I would say to me, excluding the tutorial, I would say 2 to 5 hours. Well, between 2 and 10.
Okay, we'll call it somewhere in that range. Like, you can have fallen off the game. So what was maybe not even worse? Like, if it ran fine but it bored the hell out of you, just what would you say is your worst gaming experience this year?
The worst gaming experience. Let me head back to the trophy list. Well, I already spoke on Alan Wake. That was pretty much a waste of my time. Let me see what else. Dragon's Dogma, I spoke on that. A waste of my time. I'm trying to find something different because people already know how I feel about those. You know what? I'm gonna give you one. What was the question?
Worst or most boring gaming experience of the year?
Funko Fusion.
Really?
Funko Fusion.
I remember when, like, at least when you first started playing it, you were kind of hyped. You were kind of like, okay,
But here's the
okay.
thing. Here's the thing. If you go back and look at what I said on Twitter, I posted a clip and I was like, yo, the graphics, I'm surprised the graphics look this good. Because I'm thinking that it's going to be like on some Lego shit. Well, yeah, it looks good before a Lego game.
Yeah,
Funko Fusion
yeah.
is like a really good looking UE5 game. Like, it looks really good. Like, the environments and everything, it really looks like a next-gen game. I just think that, for one, I mean, I know it's kind of hard for me to say, like, to criticize them, because I know they were probably strapped for what IPs they can use. Obviously,
That's fair.
they're
Yeah,
not gonna
licensing costs for that would have really
they're
dragged
not
them.
gonna be able to get Marvel. They're not gonna be able to get fucking DC.
Who did they have?
Okay, here we go.
Oh my
So
gosh, this is awesome.
so you had the cast from the newer Jurassic Park movies.
So like Chris Pratt's character.
Yes, you had it was like
Okay,
three characters
starting
from the new
strong.
Jurassic Park. You had the cast from the fucking Fuzz movie. It's a police movie.
Fuzz.
Yeah.
I have to Google that.
Look it up. You had the cast from the fucking Fuzz movie.
You're not talking Hot Fuzz, are you?
Yes.
They had the character. I love that. Is one of my favorite movies. I don't think I want to play them in a
That's what I'm
Funko video
saying.
game. That's crazy. Wow.
They had that cast. You had He-Man.
Oh my god.
You had fucking Colonel Sanders.
Are you for real?
Yes, you had Colonel Sanders with his gun, and his gun is a fucking bucket of chicken, and he just shooting wings at you, shooting drumsticks. And then you had Chucky, which is my favorite character in the game. But the thing about it is, everybody is shooting. So if you got Chucky,
Having a knife.
I want to walk around stabbing motherfuckers with Chucky. I don't want to be shooting a knife gun at people. And it's just like, come on, man. You got these characters. Let's add some life to it. Let's get them doing what they really do. But they were so focused on making it a shooter that every character kind of feels the same in a way. And then the worlds that you're in, all the worlds are just boring as shit. Like you in Jurassic Park world running around. Okay, it's dinosaurs, obviously. Whatever. Then you in the fucking Hot Fuzz world. Okay, why do I care about playing here with Chucky?
That's just a British small town.
Bro, it just. I mean, look, and again, it's hard for me to criticize them because that's probably all the fuck they had to work with. So I don't blame the devs. I don't blame the people who made the game. But just for me, it was just boring as shit, and it was nothing there that made me want to play. Besides Chucky, I kept playing it after like the first 2 hours because I wanted to unlock Chucky. But then you spend so much time trying to get the Chucky, or even Colonel Sanders, and then when you get them, they just shooting drumsticks and shit. And it's like, bro, I worked for this, bro. Fuck out of here. Took that shit right back to GameStop. Got $30 for it.
There you go.
Fine. And I was excited as shit for that game. Everybody was like, why you buying that game? I'm like, man, it looks fun as shit.
I was stunned. Like I was stunned when your first tweet, and maybe that was the only thing I ever saw you tweet about it. I was like, oh, he's having more fun with that game than I expected. Yeah. Apparently not.
Yep, one tweet and that was it. One tweet.
Hey, that's probably one more tweet than most players put out in support of that game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna give you two. Okay. One of which, this isn't knocking. It's a good quality game, but it bored me to tears, and I dropped it. I want to say like a third of the way through, something like that. But the Plucky Squire, do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like you jump out of a picture book and you run around the real world a bit, and you go back in the picture book and you have a sword, and it is. You know, sometimes you see people criticize like Nintendo games for holding your hand too much in the beginning.
Yeah.
Worse than any Nintendo game ever in terms of like telling you how to play. And there was a mandatory stealth element early on that I was like, that was when I reached I was like, I'm done. I don't need a mandatory stealth element in this Zelda for kids. Zelda for kids. That description should tell you a lot. Like, it's well made, but the target audience is clearly even younger than I thought it would be. And the second one you're gonna hate. And I'm gonna isolate it. The ending to Star Wars Outlaws, the last 3 missions were so bad it spoiled the entire experience.
What was the last 3 missions?
The heist.
Okay.
The heist mission was trash. And then you got to go chase like the droid. You want to save the droid.
Yeah. And
when I reached the mandatory stealth boss against the droid, I was already like, I can't believe this is how this game is ending. The second time you have to fight him in like a circular area with steam vents and stealth around to like turn on switches, I was done. I turned off the game and watched the ending on YouTube because I was
I
freaking
don't remember
done.
none of that shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. I actually
Maybe
do
it's a good
not.
thing.
I actually do not remember the last three, and I beat the
That was
game.
that was such a bad experience.
Like I thought it was like a solid 7 out of 10 game. The last 3 missions were so bad I dropped it to 5.5 out of 10
Oh.
because holy crap! If you're gonna build up to a heist mission, that should be freaking Ocean's 11 levels epic, right? Like something. But it was just boring. And I should have probably seen that coming because the writing was weak ass through the whole game.
Agreed.
Now there were good elements to the open world. There was some good gameplay stuff. But man, that was so bad.
I wish it was
Like-
a more focused experience. That's what I wish it was.
I'd agree with that. You can tell that it was meddled with a lot by committee.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, the more I've read about it, the more that's true. Like, they weren't allowed to make her actually an outlaw. Like, you weren't allowed to mug civilians, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't do shit to civilians in that damn game.
No, and I will say pretty much every former Star Wars character that appears was a waste. It was a member berry thing. Like, oh, look, Lando's here. Okay. Oh, look, Kira's here. Okay.
What's my guy name? He had one of our funnest missions. What's my guy
Which
name?
one?
I'm not a big Star Wars fan. What's my guy name? The big dude.
Darth Vader?
No. Big sloppy
You say the big
dude,
dude.
bro.
Oh, Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt, bro. Oh my god.
That was probably the best former Star Wars thing you.
That was the highlight of the game for me when we got to break into his castle and we was sneaking around there. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good mission. I will say, and I think it's kind of indicative of Star Wars' problem as a media thing right now, is that they're so reliant on prior things that they really aren't confident enough for new things to stand on their own. I will say, like the Jedi Survivor, I think, and Jedi whatever, they are kind of an exception. But so many of the projects rely on guest stars or whatever, and it felt like that problem was then brought into this video game.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But I will say I've had a pretty fun year overall. Like those were my 2 worst gaming experiences outside of Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2, but listen, I ain't gonna keep talking about that damn game.
Yeah.
That's unequivocally the worst game I played this year.
Yeah. So we'll go with the classic then. What was your game of the year in 2024?
You know, I don't know. That's such a tough question.
I can answer first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So for me, it was Metaphor Refantasio. I love JRPGs, and I like. You and I both agree with that. Like, the story isn't why I play a video game. Like, if the story is bad but the gameplay is awesome. I mean, I play freaking Power Wash Simulator, right? Like, so clearly the gameplay has to click with me. It's why I think games like I think The Last of Us, the first one, is kind of overrated because I don't think it's a top 10 game all time. A lot of people say it's the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, and I went back. I played that game at the beginning of this year before Last of Us Part 2 remaster came out. It is definitely not a masterpiece.
The story is great, but the gameplay is boring, and it took me 3 attempts to play that game, and it's not even a long game. Red Dead I fell off because it was a long game. I had too much. That game I fell off because I just sneaking around clickers and stuff was boring for me. But so story isn't everything. But Metaphor Refantasio has the best story Atlas has ever told that I've played. Like, and they made the Persona series. The gameplay, the turn-based combat system was fantastic. The characters were amazing. It had a gorgeous art style and was very unique. And I would say it's the best RPG. It's like the evolutionary apex of what everything Atlas has done as an RPG maker. And for me, thinking of a game of the year, like what game defines this year for me, it has to grab me. Kind of like I mentioned, like a game has to grab me in a certain way. And the 2 things that did this year like that were Metaphor Refantasio and Shadow of the Erdtree. Shadow of the Erdtree, not a Game of the Year candidate because it's not a game. But that was one of my favorite gaming experiences. But Metaphor Refantasio, in terms of actual games that released this year, grabbed me in an amazing way. And I literally, until I beat it, every time I clocked off of work, I was like playing that game. It almost negatively affected my master's class that I was taking at the time. But I still got the A. So, how about you?
For me, I don't want to bore the audience with JRPGs, but, this is the best gaming experience
Hey,
I
fair enough.
had this year. This is one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had in my life, man. And I've played every Yakuza game except for Like a Dragon because I tried to play it and I didn't like the combat. I thought it was just I was just watching stuff happen. But Infinite Wealth, man, you talk about stories. Like this story, like it just kept me so engaged. It was so much shit happening.
That's
Like
saying a lot because you are not a person who
that's
even
what
pays
I'm
attention at the
saying.
time.
Like I'm telling you, like it got so bad that JD and Speed Freak, because usually we'll just be in the party chat and everybody be playing their own game, and we'll just be up till 3 o'clock in the morning just fucking around. It got so bad, like they would be like, "Yo, get on this game or get on this, or we about to get on Rise of the Ronin and play co-op." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm on Infinite Wealth, bro. Y'all on y'all own, bro." Like, like this game, think I got like 60 hours in this game. The story, man. I'm talking about Uncle Kaz came back and so you going through the whole game with him and his cancer, and then Ichiban trying to got all type of shit going on, and people getting kidnapped, people is dying. Like it's just they in Hawaii, fucking tearing it up. It's crazy, bro.
I was hesitant when they said it was set in Hawaii. I was hesitant. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it worked. It worked perfectly.
I mean, and plus you still have Japan, you still have Yokohama and all of that stuff. It's in the game.
Yeah,
And you can go back and forth between Hawaii and Japan. So, they have both. But yeah, same, man. I kind of was skeptical about it, especially because I tried to play Like a Dragon and I really didn't like Ichiban. I just thought he was too fucking goofy because I really like. I'm an Uncle Kaz like diehard fan, so
that's fair.
Kiryu to me is just like a man. That's a man's man. Like that's Uncle Kaz. So when I see Ichiban, he goofy as shit. I'm like, man, get him the fuck out of here. But the fact that Uncle Kaz came back, I said, you know what, I got to play it because my guy back, and I wound up actually really liking Ichiban in this game. And then the party members, they got some crazy party members in this fucking game. It's just so good. And the combat, it's to me, just like how I felt about Midnight Suns, the combat is so fast paced and you doing so much shit, it don't feel turn based.
That's fair.
Like,
That's fair.
Like you have to time your attacks, to get the maximum damage. You gotta block, you gotta parry, and in this game, when it's your turn, you actually move your character as if it was an action game. So you're moving your character around this big ass circle
the attack, yeah,
to position them so you can hit them against a wall or hit them into their friend or the distancing matters. So you're constantly doing something. So this game right here is now the only negative about it. It had mostly every JRPG does, but it had one spot towards the end of the game where the difficulty was like, nah, we're gonna bring you back down.
Yep.
You got to go grind for 5 hours to get your level up, and then you come back and do this mission. Now, luckily for me, this game has microtransactions. So did I spend 5 to 10 hours grinding dungeons to get my level up? Fuck no.
I didn't even know you could buy that.
Yeah, I brought the fucking microtransactions, these drinks that you can drink and you can upgrade your level, your health, whatever.
Oh, okay.
I brought a bunch of them drinks to upgrade my level by 10, and then I whooped ass.
Love it. I love it.
So it was great, man. I love it. I'm excited to see what they're doing next, and I hope if they're gonna keep doing the turn-based thing, for the main line games, I'm fine with it. I just hope they keep it like this, where it's engaging, which I'm sure they will. They're not gonna regress, but. Yeah.
Well, between the Judgment titles, which I'm sure will take a different direction because apparently the actor's kind of out on them.
Yeah.
But like Yakuza, like a pirate, like it looks like they are not lacking ideas of what to do with this franchise. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Have you played Infinite Well?
I got at least through when you get that like Animal Crossing type space.
Oh, so you put a good amount of time in it because that's like halfway through the game, damn it.
That was gosh, it was so early in the year. I'm trying to remember.
It's like halfway through the game, bro.
I really have a bad tendency to fall off games pretty easily if a new game comes out or if something and that was around the time Class was going on. So, like my year has just been weird with because I took 3 classes this year. 3 classes, 3 A's. Just throwing that out there. But so sometimes that interrupts my video game time because I got to spend a whole freaking Sunday learning how to generate predictive models in Python and stuff like that. I have a new class starting on the 6th, so that'll be fun. Data mining.
Listen, get the money, man.
Hey, I just got a promotion too, so
no, bro.
I'm excited. That's the first time I've ever just been randomly promoted. My boss, like, I didn't have to lobby for it or anything. My boss was like, "Hey, we're promoting you." I was like, "Deal."
Yeah, that's the best feeling. They trust in you, man.
So,
no better
all right. Anything else? Anything else about 2024 you want to bring up? Anything that just stands out? We'll just give it an open, like, when you think of 2024, what will you think of?
I'm gonna say.
It doesn't have to be a game either, because I'll think of your 24-hour stream that happened during the Game Award.
Yeah, no, not gaming, not a game specifically. I just want better spacing, man. I feel like too many times throughout these years, we get a bunch of games in the beginning and then we'll get some shit at the end. But I would say like from April through fucking September is just nothing, bro. And I think that they have to space these games out, push them back if you have to make sure you have something landing consistently every month instead of just all at the beginning. And also, it will help your game. Think about some games that will have much longer legs this year if they release, at the beginning of the summer, or.
Well, I think some of that has to do. I think some of that has to do with financials.
Yeah.
So like the core Q4 or whatever, like isn't actually December.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for a lot of companies, like it goes into the next year. So, and I think that's why we have a stacked February. Is that's like the end of their fiscal year releasing games to boost that revenue on their fiscal reporting. Like I agree. Like I bet you Ubisoft, there's no way Assassin's Creed gets delayed again because they need that boost on their fiscal reporting.
Yeah, because they had a terrible year.
Yeah, which is crazy because Outlaws is one thing, but Prince of Persia was legitimately one of my favorite games this year.
Yeah, I brought it day one, but it is.
So did I, and I beat that. I loved it. I loved that game. If it didn't have so many collectible crap, I'd have the platinum.
Yeah,
I looked at a map after I beat it, and I was like, "No, I'm not going back."
Yeah, that game that shit had so much. It was good though. I enjoyed it. What time I did get to spend with it, I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
He had that haircut and he wasn't annoying at all.
See,
like he was a great protagonist. And they just gave him the crappy haircut.
Man, I commented the other day on a fucking post about the dude that voices Miles Morales in the movies and how
that guy's
because he a creep now. And I was like, well, it's time for my boy Najee to take over. And everybody's in the comments like, fuck him in that comb over. I'm like, damn, what the fuck, Najee? I'm like, what did Najee do to y'all? Somebody commented, keep him and his fucking comb over away from the movie. I said, it's just voice acting. You're not even going to see him.
He didn't make the models.
Right. They act
like that weird suit that everybody hated at the end of Spider-Man 2. Like, he didn't make that suit.
People on the internet, they act like it's Najee's fault. I'm like, he's doing what Sony is telling him to do. They're telling him to make his voice this way. He's playing a teenager. They're telling him your character is gonna have the comb over in his dumb outfit.
Yeah.
But the comments was hilarious. They was like, fuck him in his comb over. No, he's the worst Miles Morales. Fuck him, he's trash. And I'm like, why do y'all feel like that? Because he had a comb over? That's why y'all mad? But it's crazy.
Across the Spider-Verse came out this year, right?
Did it come out this year?
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. It feels forever ago.
I have the movie. I mean, obviously the movie's probably not gonna have a date on it.
No, it came out last year. Okay, it came out in 2023. We might be like 5 years in between movies before we get the third one.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2027 at the earliest, personally.
Dude, I didn't even know Across the Spider-Verse was going to end on a cliffhanger. I didn't know there was a third movie. I thought this was it.
The third movie was supposed to come out this year. It was supposed to come out in March.
Freaking hell. Anyway.
And also, Sega, man. Sega. This was Sega's 2024. Listen, nobody could say nothing about Sega
They're on a roll
this year. To me, they were the best publisher this year, the best game company. They delivered with everything they put out. They've been the most consistent. They gave us 2 quality game of the year, contenders, one at the beginning, one at the end. And plus they had their games throughout the year. Now they talking about bringing Sega Channel back. Listen, man. Sega. I hope they give us a Dreamcast Mini.
There was what was that game that was announced at the Game Awards? I've already forgot. Project
Unknown, is it called? Was it Project Unknown?
Something like that. You know what I'm talking about, though. There was something that got announced.
Yeah, RGG. They said it's I know it's in 1915. Japan 1915.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. And they said it's not related to Yakuza. It's going to be a new, a new series, new IP. And then RGG is doing the new Virtua Fighter game. I mean, listen, Sega is not fucking around, man. People want to talk about Sony. They want to talk about Microsoft.
Oh, Virtua Fighter's coming back, too. I forgot about Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. RGG, they doing that, too. The Yakuza team, they doing
They're the hardest working damn studio out there right now.
Sega is not playing, man. And people got to put respect, bro. People talk about Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, but they always leave out Sega when you talk about the best publishers.
Well, and I think partially because they have done well, but like their flagship, for instance, has always struggled in 3D. Sonic has always struggled.
Yeah.
Yakuza has gotten so much more popular in the last 5 years,
and it's still not a super big seller, which is crazy.
Maybe not, but I mean, it's now turning heads if nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta find what is that thing called? I'm looking at the IGN announcements from the Game Awards.
Just type in new RGG studio game.
Project Century. There you go.
Project Century. Yeah. Like that shit looks amazing, man.
And Sonic in a car.
And then Sonic and Shadow, man. Come on, man. That shit is a banger, man.
I have that one. I gotta finish it. I should just play the Shadow levels because I just.
That's what I did first.
Sonic Generations as a game, like I'm like 7 stages in.
Oh no, you gotta start with Shadow, bro. You gotta start with Shadow.
The older Sonic 1 levels I think are more fun than the modern Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Like, but I grew up with Sonic. I had a Sega Genesis and I loved Sonic 2, Sonic 3 with Knuckles. Yeah. I have played Sonic 3 with Knuckles attached so many times. Sonic Adventures 1 and 2, but after that, I don't know. I just haven't really enjoyed the way they took it.
Sonic CD is the best game in the series.
Sonic CD is hugely slept on. Now, in fairness, it was on the Sega CD, and nobody could freaking play it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I got that new the Origins Plus. Yeah. I played every game on there, and Sonic CD I played that game. And I was like, God damn, this is what I've been missing all these years. That motherfucker is gas. That game is incredible. But yeah, you gotta
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania, incredible. But yeah, play the Shadow levels because the Shadow, it's literally like its own game. Like it's got you got open world, open zones, and then you got the main missions where you go to. Shadow's got so many abilities that he can unlock and just doing so much shit. It's so great. It is amazing,
dude. You know what?
And you can beat it in 3 hours.
Watch him announce a new Shadow the Hedgehog standalone title.
They need to.
And you know what? I want him to go big. Give him a gun again. Be like, screw
Probably
it. We'll do it right this
happen.
time. No, let's do it. You haven't seen the movie, right?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about the movie. But no, I like that would be the most brazen move if they were like, we're going to make a Shadow the Hedgehog game and give him a gun again, but we're getting it right this time. Hey, RGG, we need your help.
Yeah, look, have them do something, man, because anything that they touch at this point is just like, they not missing. RGG's not missing, bro.
Ichiban shows up in a Shadow game and hits somebody with a baseball bat and then disappears.
Hey, listen, Sega, use your IPs, man.
Dude, I want a remake of Skies of Arcadia. It was my favorite Dreamcast game.
Incredible game.
Sky Pirate JRPG. How do we not have...
incredible game, incredible soundtrack.
Phantasy Star as a series needs to come back, but not Phantasy Star Online. Don't get me wrong. Phantasy Star Online was interesting, but Phantasy Star 4 is the JRPG that introduced me to both RPGs and anime.
Yeah.
And it used a comic book storytelling that almost no game has ever done since. And it's crazy to me. You know how nice it would be if we had a JRPG that did like comic book panels atop what was going on, rather than just a 3D model that goes, ha ha, talk, talk, talk.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Artistry, man.
New Fantasy Star. New Toe Jam and Earl. Stop fucking
Toe Jam and
playing.
Earl. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all could do new Echo the Dolphin. They have so many IPs. And not to mention that next year we supposed to be getting new Golden Axe, new Streets of Rage, new Jack Grind Radio, new Crazy Taxi. People forgot that they announced those 4 games.
I did forget they announced those 4 games.
So, maybe they trying to wait to do the Sega Channel thing if they're going to take it serious and then drop them on there, which that'd be dope. That'd be cool.
That'd be dope. That'd
be a good way to get some
I would subscribe to the Sega Channel.
Come on, man. Listen.
Oh.
Sega, man. Listen, they got so
2024, it really was kind of the year of Sega.
And 2025 might be the year of Sega too if Grand Theft Auto gets delayed, which we all expected to get delayed.
At this point, yes.
We all expected it to get delayed.
If it's not the year of Sega, it's because the Switch 2 was a rousing success.
Yeah, you know what? Because if Switch 2 is coming out, but if they have Metroid Prime 4 and a new Donkey Kong on launch, you know, maybe a Smash Bros.
Done.
Maybe a Smash Bros. You know, Ultimate with all the DLC included.
I don't know. I don't know where they'll go from here. Like that's their only choice. Is like we're gonna re-release Smash Bros. Ultimate and then add DLC to that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if they release Smash Ultimate with all of them fucking DLC characters on the cart, that'd be crazy. That'd be a big seller too, I think.
New 3D Mario is almost guaranteed because we haven't had one since Odyssey.
Yep. And if they actually make a Pokemon game that they actually care about, and they actually take time to get the motherfucker working.
Tell you what, power, I would just take a freaking give me. I guess it's not technically next up for the remake, but give me Soul Silver brought to the Switch 2.
I was just about to say my favorite one is Gold. I think it was Heart Gold. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was if they made a Soul Silver remake with like hyper detailed pixels instead of going 3D.
That'd be fire.
Truly artistic, and then add. Like, even the newer Pokemon that have only been in 3D, but make 2D sprites for them. Yeah. Anyway.
How'd you feel about the Yellow remake? Let's Go Pikachu.
You know, I didn't really care for the Let's Go games because they tried to thread the needle between normal gameplay and Pokemon Go.
I liked it. I had the little fucking Pokeball, and I used to take it with me. I could hear Pikachu or whatever Pokemon I put in there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I thought it was cool.
It didn't connect with me. I think it was a fun idea.
Yeah.
Kind of like, honestly, Arceus. What was it, Pokemon Arceus? Yeah. Like, that's a good idea. It wasn't my thing. It was not. I like the more traditional. Like, I liked Sword and Shield. Like, that's probably my most played on the Switch. I liked the 3DS ones, like the ones that nobody liked.
I'll take a Coliseum remake, man.
X and Y. I loved X and Y.
Coliseum, bro.
I never played a Coliseum.
What? Yo, them GameCube Pokemon games was fire.
The problem is like Stadium, for instance, like that Stadium kind of offshoot. I wanted like a real game, not. I don't know.
Coliseum was a real game though.
Well, by the time I knew that, I didn't have my GameCube anymore.
See, Coliseum was like I want to say that was the last time they innovated in 3D, because they took what they did before, which was just put you out in the world and have you go around battling Pokemon trainers and exploring the world and catching Pokemon. But they did it with the actual GameCube graphics. It wasn't a remake on Master. It was a brand new game with GameCube graphics, and you was doing the same shit you did on the Game Boy Advance. So that's what made Coliseum so fun. It was so great.
Here's a hot take. I think innovation is overrated.
Okay.
So I don't need Pokemon to innovate. I just need it to do things well.
No, for Pokemon, I agree. For Pokemon, I 100% agree. I just want the game to fucking work. That's all I want.
It's funny. Like, I think you probably saw the same tweet I did where somebody was saying that PlayStation has never innovated. And that's just cope. Like, partially because, first off, innovation isn't the first to do something necessarily. Sometimes it's the first to do it well or expand upon it. But, quite frankly, it goes back to, like, 50 Cent, Blood in the Sand. Yeah. I don't need it to be innovative. Exactly. I just need it to be fun. So, I don't need Pokemon especially. Yeah, I don't need it to innovate. I just need a fun Pokemon game. That runs well.
I agree with that. For me personally, like you said, just give me Pokemon Gold, or even some Sapphire. Oh my god, I put so many fucking hours into Sapphire as a kid. Give me Pokemon Gold or Sapphire and just let it have the graphics of the Switch 2.
Oh,
That's
man.
all I want.
Do you know Vanillaware? Do you know that developer? They made
It
Unicorn
sounds familiar.
Overlord.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine if we got a Pokemon game with
That
2D
looks like
graphics like that.
That would be amazing.
Give me a Pikachu that looks like it was painted by a Japanese painter.
That would be crazy.
Oh, anyway.
See, that's all I want is a new Pokemon game to just look good and not be constantly dropping frames and clipping through the world. That's all. That's all. That's all.
Fortunately, I bet you the next Pokemon game will run fantastic.
What is it called?
Because
They already revealed it. It was like a
Z or something. Pokemon Z.
It was like Z or something like that.
I bet you it'll run well because it'll be designed for the Switch and it'll run on the Switch too. So we'll be fine on that one.
There's gonna be Switch 2.
It's the next one that'll be a problem.
Switch
Reports
2
are Switch 2 is going to be like a PS4 Pro level thing. So it's going to be like a Nintendo Steam Deck. You know what I'm okay with? A Nintendo Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm 100% fine with it.
Yeah, I don't need it to be PS5 equivalent.
Yep.
I just need it to no longer be PS3 equivalent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even need it to be PS4 Pro equivalent. Just give me the base PS4 equivalent, and I'm fine with that. I still remember how NBA 2K14 looked the first time I played it on PS4 on launch day. I remember how I thought that shit was like real life graphics.
Oh my gosh, the screenshots I took, because that's the first thing I did. I was like, this is so realistic. Yeah. And you know what? It is. It still looks great. Anyway, so 2024, it was a good year. Yes, I think we got a lot to look forward to in 2025, and maybe next week we talk more in depth about 2025 and things we hope for.
Yep, because it'll officially be 2025.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have a better picture. I'm gonna get all the releases because I only look for the first couple of months so far. The only thing I'm getting. Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff later in the year like Ghost of Yotai is gonna be fantastic, stuff like that. So we'll dive into that next week or something.
Yep. Hey. With that being said, we ain't gonna waste no time. We'll see y'all next week for episode 11. I'm about to download Avengers. I don't know why I've been craving this game, bro. Like, you ever wake up and you're
talking
like,
the Square Enix Marvel's Avengers one?
Sure. I got
well, we all have crosses to bear.
Especially now that all of the cosmetics and everything in the game is free. Like, I mean,
that'll do it.
I gotta just download it just to see, just to play.
Yeah, it's kind of like the people who bought Kill the Justice League during the Steam sale when it was like $4. I can't say I blame you. I blame you.
I'm waiting until all that shit is free before I get back into the game because I know at some point they got to make all the characters free because I'm not paying $10.
Yeah, right. Yeah, months before the servers go out forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll wait until next Christmas when they pull in Avengers and they say, all right, now we done because they already said they done and the next patch for offline play is gonna be the last one. So once they make everything free, I'll get back into it. But I'm gonna download Avengers and see what's going on. I downloaded Test Drive. That's free this weekend. Test Drive Solar Crown. You know, if you play racing games, I'm not a big racing game player, but I love.
I have added like 30 games to my library in the last 4 weeks, so I'm good. I am good on games right now.
Yep, I'll be playing some Wukong and probably see what's up with it. I might play Mark Echo on PC. I don't know. Just so many.
There you go. Right now. I might be downloading Dark Sector tonight. If that thing will run on my Steam Deck, I might be playing Dark Sector.
That game will run on the Steam Deck. That game
some weird don't. The Grande HD doesn't work on the Steam Deck without configuration. Like when I say doesn't work, I mean like if you have to configure it too much, I just haven't done much of that. Though. Doesn't matter. Some of this stuff is weird.
What?
Yeah, let me look at the store page real quick. Let me look at the store page for Dark Sector.
Games on Steam don't run good on the Steam Deck.
Well, obviously the high end games won't. Like I wouldn't try Space Marine 2 for instance or something. Of course. Steam Deck compatibility is currently unknown. Well, guess who's gonna test it?
How much is it? How much is it right now? Or is it still free?
$10.
Oh, $10. Okay.
Yeah, $10 is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm buying it now.
That game
I'm adding my 31st game for December.
Oh my goodness.
Steam sales get me, man.
All right, well I ain't gonna hold you up.
No, this is fun. I appreciate you jumping on.
No, I agree. This was great, man. I appreciate you, man, with the topics and leading the charge tonight. That was great.
Hey, happy to. This is fun for me. I enjoy doing this with you guys.
I know, it's great. Hey, Twitter, thank you to all 68 people watching live. I appreciate y'all. Anybody over in the YouTube comments, I'm sorry I didn't talk to you tonight.
There were none.
Drop your likes and all that. Make sure you sub to the channel. And we'll holler at y'all next week.